Hiya, it's Bree back again with 10 more questions and answers that I've taken directly from either Web Assessor or Trailhead to help you practice for your Salesforce admin exam. Remember that the goal of this is to go over the questions and answers and how we got the answers, not memorization, because that is not going to help you. And you got this, and good luck on your test, and let's get started. Ursa Major Solar placed a time-dependent action in the workflow queue when the record was created. What are two situations that will cause this action to be removed from the queue? Choose two options. Oh my God, this question's like on every pretest, but let's go over it again. A, if a validation rule is triggered for the record. B, if another record triggers the same workflow rule. C, if the action is deleted from the workflow queue. D, if the record no longer matches the rule criteria. Okay, so let's go through these. The top one we have, if a validation rule is triggered for the record. So let's think about this one. Time-dependent actions remain in the workflow queue as long as they meet all the criteria. So a validation rule is triggered for the record doesn't change anything. So B, if another record triggers the same workflow rule, well, duh. If you have like 8 sales reps and all of them are doing things, it's going to trigger multiple records at the same time. And so it's not going to kick out any of the records. C, if the action is deleted from the workflow queue. Obviously, if something was deleted, it no longer fits the criteria, so it's not going to work. So C, and then D, if a record no longer matches the criteria. I sound like a broken record. It no longer matches the criteria, so that's not going to work. So I'm going with C and D. Oh, how fun is that? It's better than the normal spinny thing. I like it. So C and D were correct. Ursa Major Solar has the following environment and requirements. Critical high priority accounts have an assigned district manager, sales representative, inside sales representative, and customer service representative. 2, the sales manager wants to prevent these accounts from being inadvertently contacted more than once on the same day. 3, the sales manager wants to report on various customer interactions. As a sales admin, how are you going to fix this, right? That's what the question wants. It has 3 things that it needs you to be able to do. So let's figure this out. A, log a case on the account. B, log a separate task or call or activity on the account. C, post customer interactions in chatter on the account. D, enter comments into the notes sections on the account. Let's break these down for a minute. Log a case on the account. Logging a case on the account that's what you do when there's a problem or an issue. You log a case. So that's out. B, log a separate task, call, or activity on the account. That sounds about right, because if you log a task, call, or activity, 1, everyone can see it, and 2, it can be reported on. So that seems like a good answer. C, post customer interactions in chatter on the account. No, because not everybody looks at chatter. Seriously, people ignore it a lot of the time, and you can't report on chatter. So that one is out. D, enter comments into the notes section on the account. You could do that, but again, like with the chatter, everyone has to look at it all the time and be up to date, and you can't report on it, so it doesn't fulfill all the requirements. The only one that does is B, log a separate call, task, or activity on the account, and we are correct. Universal Containers utilizes a private sharing model for accounts, contacts, and opportunities. When account owners are on vacation, a backup sales rep is needed access to all accounts with a rating of hot. How should the system administrator give the backup sales rep access to hot accounts? A, use a workflow rule to change ownership for the hot accounts where the owner's on vacation field is checked. B, create a criteria-based sharing rule to share all hot accounts with all of the users in the backup rep's public group. C, create criteria-based sharing rule to share all hot accounts with the users in the backup account field. D, instruct the hot account owner to manually share the accounts with the backup rep before they leave on vacation. Okay, so this has a lot of words, and the one thing that stands out in this one is there's so much work. Use a workflow rule to change ownership, create a criteria-based sharing rule, create a criteria-based sharing rule for all hot accounts. First, you would have to know that the sales rep, what they think is a hot account or they think is going to be a hot account, but it hasn't been marked as a hot account yet. So that would only work if that was a real thing. So the only thing that you can possibly do to get this right 100% of the time is you tell the account owner to manually share it with somebody. There is a way to make what's called laptop buddies where, say, Frank is going on vacation, so you can model his Salesforce accounts, contacts, everything with Jim for a short time. But that's every single account, every opportunity, everything that they own. But this question is specifically asking for just things that are labeled hot accounts. So the best way to do this would be D, instruct the hot account owner to share it. So Jim's going on vacation. He's going to share all of his hot accounts with Frank, and he'll do that manually. That is the best way to do this. And we are correct. What are 2 reasons users cannot be deactivated? This question came up before, but we'll go over it again. The user is a customer community administrator. The user is a recipient of workflow email alerts. The user is the owner of open opportunities. The user's account is frozen. Okay, so we know that if the user's account is frozen, then they easily can be deactivated, because that is the step you do before deactivation. You freeze them so you can move all of their accounts to other people. Correct? Correct. So the user is the owner of open opportunities. No. Once you freeze it, you can then move the open opportunities to other people. So that is not an issue. The user is the recipient of workflow email alerts. That is 100% going to cause you problems when you go to deactivate them. Guaranteed. And the user is the customer community administrator. Guaranteed. If they are the administrator to a chatter group or anything like that, you need to put it back in your name before you figure out who you're going to send it to, and then you can deactivate them. So it's A and B. And we are correct. A system administrator enables case feed actions and feed items in support settings. With the appropriate profile permissions enabled, what changes will the user see? A. Case feeds will no longer be hidden in standard page layouts. B. All case buttons will be converted to actions in the case feed. Cases will use feed layouts rather than standard page layouts. All case fields will be added to the chatter feed tracking. Okay, let's think about this for a second. When you enable case feed, right? Everything goes to case feed. So A, case feeds will no longer be hidden on the standard page layout. Why would they be hidden in the first place? So that's incorrect. B, all case buttons will be converted to actions in the case feed. Why would that even happen? C, case will use the layout rather than the standard page layout. That is 100% true. You have to remember, if you change things from case feed, everything changes to case feed. You can change it back, but it changes the standard page layout. And then what do we have as the last one? All case feeds will be added to the chatter feed tracking. You can't track chatter anyway, so that's just a nonsense answer that they threw in there. So it's going to be C, and we are correct. First and Major Solar is using products and price books. Which 2 items should the administrator take into consideration about these features? Choose 2. If a price book contains assets, they cannot contain products. A product can have different list price and different price books. Products without a price are automatically added to standard price book. The standard and list price for a product can be listed in more than one currency. Let's go over these and see which one makes the most sense, or I guess which 2. A, if a price book contains assets, they cannot contain products. So this is a question that doesn't make sense, because an asset is something that the company owns, a product is something that the company sells. So they're just putting that in there for no reason. So A is completely out. B, a product can have different price list price in different price books. This is 100% true. This is the point of price books. If you've ever made a price book or had to deal with a price book, you know this to be true. Because if you have a sales rep that works out of Canada, a sales rep that works out of California, a sales rep that works out of Florida, every single area or territory, as we call them in Salesforce, territories, will have different price books if they want. And if they don't have different price books, they can use the standard list price, right? So B is 100% true. So let's see what's the next one. C, products without a price are automatically added to the standard price book. If you remember from your modules, or if you've ever made a price book, you know that each product in the price book needs to have a price, right? Like that is the point. You put in the product SKU, description, and the price. You can't save it without that. So that is completely untrue. And so let's go with the next one. The standard and list price for a product can be listed in more than one currency. Absolutely. 100% absolutely. Like we were just talking about, you could have the guy in Canada and he's going to do it in Canadian dollars or loonies, and then you're going to have the guy in Florida who's going to use American dollars. It's going to happen. So yes, the standard and list price for a product can be listed in more than one currency. So that's what we're going to go for. An answer is B. You can have the same product at two different prices in two different price books. And D, the standard and list price can be listed in more than one currency. Let's see if we're correct. And we are, because we're super smart. Ursa Major Solar Administrator created a new account record type, but when the marketing users are creating new records, they are unable to choose the new record type. What are two potential causes of this issue? Choose two. The record type is disabled on the marketing user's profile. The record type default setting is disabled. The record type is deactivated. The record type is disassociated from the page layout. Wow, so they really went hard on the D words on here to trip you up. So let's go through these and see what I would choose and what the correct answers are. A, the record type is disabled on the marketing user's profile. Yes, the record type needs to be assigned to the profile for them to see it. You can make it looks beautiful, but if you forget to assign it to the marketing user profile, then it won't show up. Maybe you accidentally just assigned it to one person, but you need to assign it to the whole entire marketing user profile for it to be usable. Let's see what else we have. The record default type setting is disabled. Okay, so that is going to trip you up with the D words, and plus we just said disabled. But in fact, when a record type is being made, it is either active or inactive. I think they were just trying to go with the D words on this. So that's incorrect because they use the word disabled. If they would have said the record type default setting is inactive, then it would be correct, but they use the word disabled, trying to trip you up with some language there. The record type is deactivated. Okay, so that is correct. It's very strange that they used all these D words to try to trip you up. So if English isn't your first language or you didn't learn it through the module, then you wouldn't know this. But the record type is deactivated, so it needs to be activated versus inactive and active. Deactivated is just another word to put inactive. So C, the record type is deactivated. It would be correct. And D, the record type is disassociated from the page layout. Incorrect. The record type is not populated by the page layout relationship. So they put another D word in there, and then they use the word page layout. But the thing is, it's not populated by the page layout. So it wouldn't be that. This one was a hard one to get through because of the language nuances. But the correct answers are going to be that it would be B and C. An administrator, Ursa Major Solar, is converting a lead and needs to capture custom lead data on a converted contact. What should the administrator do to accomplish this goal? A, utilize the lead conversion wizard to select the fields. B, utilize the data loader to move the custom lead data. C, map custom lead fields to standard contact fields. D, map custom lead fields to custom contact fields. What was the question again? An administrator at Ursa is converting leads and needs to capture custom lead data on converted contact. Okay, let's see what our questions are. Utilize the lead conversion wizard to select fields. That is incorrect. Fields are not selected by the converting user, and they are set up by the admin. So that one's out. So B, utilize the data loader to move the custom lead data. That is out because the standard lead conversion process converts data. So why would you need that? Let's see. Map custom lead fields to share contact fields. Incorrect. Nope. Custom lead fields cannot be mapped to standard contact fields. All right, what's the last one? It's got to be the right one, right? Map custom lead fields to custom contact fields. Yes, when leads are converted, lead records, standard lead fields, all of that, they map to the newly created records. So yeah, it's going to be D. Girl, that one was a hard one to get through. Remember, I took these questions and answers directly from pretest that I either paid for on WebAssessor or took from Trailhead, and they are poorly worded like that. So I am sorry for the mental gymnastics we had to get through to get some of that wording correctly. But with all that being said, you can do this. Practice your test, take the pretests, do everything that you can, get your badges, get your modules, and thank you for watching and listening. And most importantly, remember to think about how we got the answer, not just memorize the answer, and know that you got this. You can do this. And have a great day and good luck on your test. Bye.